standing in the largest food plot here at the Proving Grounds. We call it Tombstone, and it looks rough to the untrained eye. Rough in that, we drilled through here with the Genesis and then crimped it with the Goliath, and you see stuff standing up, you may be thinking it's weeds, but these are oats, and oats were not mature enough. You can see the seed heads are still green. They weren't mature enough for the crimper to terminate. They just stood back up. All the cereal rye is dead, laying down, doesn't have viable seed, but the oats are still green. That's okay, because deer and turkey, when these go ahead and mature out, will consume most of these. It's just a source of carbohydrates or grain, think oatmeal in the summer, so they're not gonna volunteer and have oats everywhere. I'm okay with these few plants standing up. We had a wet spring and then the spigot turned off. We've had 2 sprinkles in several weeks. I don't mean rains, I mean sprinkles. So it is wicked dry, yet my new crop is coming on strong. And that's solely because of the release process and the blend we plant. We've been working on this relatively new plot for a few years now to improve soil quality. And the whole process. We plant really diverse blends of quality forage plants. We never disturb the soil. We use a no-till drill. We don't use herbicide. We don't use fertilizer. Those herbicides and fertilizers are foreign to the soil, and more importantly, the microbes in there, and they kill the beneficial microbes off. But with the beneficial microbes, they're taking the nutrients that naturally occur in all soil and making them plant available. So my crop, it's got a good color, coming on good. It's not as tall as I'd like because we're wicked dry, but I got a lot of buddies that have no crop. I mean, just nothing. So I'm staying ahead of the deer herd. Hopefully we get a rain and this will bolt on up, and I'll add more mulch to cover the soil for the fall crop. I'm gonna feed deer all summer and improve the soil and not have to pay for lime, fertilizer, herbicide, and all the labor to apply those. So I'm calling this a huge success, and even more important, I think, to a lot of us throughout the Midwest and other areas, we're experiencing a drought. I know David Smith in North Alabama says he's not had a rain in 3 weeks, and a lot of my buddies throughout the Whitetails Range are texting me, calling me saying, ooh, it's dry out here. And those that have been in the release process long enough, like here, are still producing high quality forage for wildlife. Their plants are doing okay because the soil is healthier, and healthy soil is like a sponge, and it holds moisture and releases it slowly over time.
Growing Deer is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Also by Green Cover Food Plots, Winchester, Moultrie Mobile, Fleet Outdoor Apparel, Morel Targets, RTP Outdoors, Fourth Arrow, Scorpion Venom Archery, Case IH Tractors, Ward Laboratories, Burris Optics, National Land Realty, G5 Broadheads, Prime Bows, and Redneck Hunting Blinds.
One of the big factors, of course, is keeping the soil covered. We've shown this in the past with our infrared thermometer. We just point it and it tells us the temperature. And above the mulch would be 100 or so, and where there's bare dirt, 130. Dirt's kind of dark. Hopefully it's dark where you live. And just think about putting your hand on a black vehicle. Man, it can burn it even though it's 80 degrees outside. But covered, the soil temperature was in the low 80s. And when you're at that temperature, 100% of the soil moisture is available to plants. That's where the drought proof comes from. If you have bare dirt, like a brand new food plot we created here at the Proving Grounds, and the plants are much smaller. I mean, it's 200 yards that way. The plants are much smaller right now because we just cleared off the forest and started. And because there's no mulch covering the soil, that soil moisture is evaporating. There's not much available to the plants. Here, 100% of the moisture is available to plants, and it'll hold on to the next rain, and then I look for this food plot to jump with that moisture. And when it rains, think about this, the ground cover, the last year's crop is laying down. Well, when it's dry, if you put a bale of straw in your living room, it's just gonna stay there, right? There's probably, hopefully not enough moisture in your living room for that to decompose. But when you're out here and it's dry, these plants are decomposing, therefore they're not adding nutrients to the plants. But it's dry, so plants don't want to grow a lot right now anyway. If we get a rain and this cover starts breaking down, releasing more nutrients to the plant. So that's the perfect slow release fertilizer. Get a little bit of rain, a little bit of decomposition occurs, and the plants get a little food. That's all they can grow at that time because they're moisture limited. Get more rain, get faster decomposition of the dead plants, and the plants get more fertilizer when there's enough water to grow more. So it's just a perfect natural system replicating what happened on the Great Prairie before settlers arrived. We call this drought proofing a food plot. It's not drought proofing, it's drought resistant. If it doesn't rain for 200 days, not much is growing anywhere. But I can get through using this system 2, 3, 4 weeks without rain, keep my crop alive, keep feeding deer, and then it'll jump when I get a rain. On bare dirt, I go 3 or 4 or 5 weeks with no rain, probably don't have a crop to feed the deer. I find that when we study the natural processes, we tend to be more efficient when we apply them to our food plot work and our life. There's a lot of great lessons there. I think that's the way the Creator made the planet to work, that we can learn from the land and His creation. And I hope you take time every day to purposely seek the Creator's will and apply it to your life. Thanks for watching Growing Deer.